The college basketball season is just starting to heat up, and Dylan Harper has already exceeded high expectations. Although he's already regarded as one of the top upcoming picks in the 2025 NBA draft, his stock only continues to climb. Him and five-star freshman phenom Ace Bailey are looking to make some serious noise in March Madness and show why they're one of the most dominant freshman duos we've seen in the past few years. Can they get Rutgers basketball back to the big dance and make magic happen in March? Can Dylan Harper lead this team to the Final Four? And most importantly, can he really give Cooper Flagg a run for his money at that #1 overall pick? Well, let's take a deeper dive and explore how Dylan has gotten to this point, understand how good he really is, and try to predict how high his ceiling truly is at the NBA level. Harper grew up in Franklin Lakes, New Jersey, and attended Don Bosco Preparatory High School, where he truly started making a name for himself. As a sophomore, he didn't necessarily struggle. Averaging over 15 points per game, he started to get looked at in the tri-state area, but heading into his junior year, he made his jump. During his junior season, he averaged 25 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals per game, which led to him being named the New Jersey Boys Basketball Player of the Year. Safe to say, Harper's recognition across the nation truly started to skyrocket. Come his senior year, people started to realize how good Dylan truly was, and they started to understand that he's a legit NBA talent in the recruiting process. He averaged 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists per game, and led Don Bosco to a 29-3 record and a state championship. As high school hoops was nearing an end, Dylan was ready to make his commitment, and just about every major program in the country had him on their radar. He was ranked the 4th best player in the country by ESPN and had offers from top programs like Duke, Kansas, and Auburn. But what some didn't realize is that Rutgers was the most likely landing spot for Harper. Why, you may ask? Although the program has not been a powerhouse in a very long time, the program truly took a turn for the better once they hired former UConn Husky guard Steve Pikiell to run the show. Pikiell's greatest accomplishment came when he helped turn Stony Brook University on Long Island, New York, into one of the top teams in the America East Conference and brought them to their first NCAA March Madness appearance in 2016. But what has he done so far during his time at Rutgers? Well, let's just say prior to being signed in 2016, Rutgers' last winning season came during the 2005-2006 season, and during the 2015-16 season before Pikiell was hired, Rutgers had a miserable 7-25 record. While the turnaround by Pikiell wasn't immediate, he was able to turn around the program in just 2 years, and a huge part of that was due to the emergence of Dylan's brother, Ron Harper Jr. Yeah, if you haven't put it together yet, Dylan's brother got Rutgers out of the mud, and his dad, Ron Harper, was the point guard alongside Michael Jordan and is a 5-time NBA champion. Ron Harper Jr. was the catalyst that truly helped ascend Rutgers into a winning program. Helping lead them to their first winning season in nearly 15 years in the 2020-2021 season, Harper Jr. led Rutgers back to March Madness for the first time since 1991, 30 years later. So what does this mean for Dylan's commitment? Rutgers had always been high on the list simply due to it being in his hometown. Add his brother being within the program years before under the same coach, it somewhat seemed like a lock. But many speculated if it was smart simply due to Rutgers not nearly getting the national media attention that most other programs get. Or maybe because Rutgers simply just wasn't nearly as established as the other programs who had made an offer to Harper. Well, one thing is for sure, the program would certainly get national attention, because on January 15, 2023, Rutgers landed Ace Bailey, the #2 ranked recruit in this class and one of Dylan's closest friends. Trust us, the talent Ace has could make for an entire separate video, because the upside on this young man is truly spectacular. And to no one's surprise, in December of 2023, the inevitable happened. Rutgers as well lands the #4 ranked recruit, Dylan Harper. So now Rutgers, a program that usually finishes in the lower half of the Big Ten standings, has 2 of the top 4 recruits in the 2024 class, and comes in as the 25th ranked team in the AP Top 25 preseason rankings. But both Ace and Dylan are ranked behind no other than Duke commit Cooper Flagg, who was the consensus #1 recruit on all ranking websites. Going into the start of the college basketball season, Flagg had been established as the clear-cut consensus #1 prospect, future #1 draft pick. Essentially, it was Flagg 1, Harper being 2A, and Ace being 2B. Most 2025 NBA mock drafts have Flagg at 1 with Dylan and Ace at 2 or 3. But as we approach the halfway point of the season, it genuinely looks like Dylan has entered the conversation for the #1 overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft. Let's dive a little deeper into some of the impressive things he's displayed so far this season and what his future in the NBA could look like. It's certainly still early on in the 18-year-old freshman's campaign, but my oh my, this man is cold. We know Dylan Harper is part 1 of this 2-headed monster that Rutgers has, and Dylan, being a 6'6" guard who comes into his freshman year as one of the most intriguing prospects for the NBA draft, has many people tuned in. Everyone has seemed to label Cooper Flagg as the unanimous #1 pick in the upcoming NBA draft, but let's just say that Dylan's got people questioning that initial thought. So far, he's one of the leading scorers throughout all of college, yes, as a freshman. Back in December, he dropped 36 points with 6 boards and 6 assists in an overtime win over Notre Dame. Next game versus the #9 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide, he dropped 37. And it's not like he's just been inefficient and heaving up shots. He's shooting over 50% from the field while grabbing 5 boards and dishing 5 assists per game. The man at 18 years old is putting up ridiculous stats game after game. Rutgers definitely has some work to do as a team to be a legitimate threat in March, but the main reason for these struggles are their defense and their lack of scoring outside of Dylan and Ace. They're both averaging 20 points a game, while the supporting cast doesn't have a single player averaging double figures. The hope for them at this point is to try and knock off a few upset wins and squeak their way into the big dance in March, because man, would it be great for America to watch the performance Dylan and Ace would put on. Just their ability on its own could be enough to compete with any team in the nation, but you just hope that their size doesn't hurt them and their supporting cast can be just a little more productive than they have been so far. But to truly assess how good Dylan Harper can be in the NBA, we need to do a full breakdown of strengths and weaknesses that many analysts have said about Dylan and his future at the next level. The first major strength that Dylan has is an elite frame for a point guard. He's a versatile 6'6" left-handed combo guard with a strong frame and a 6'10" wingspan. And it's not just his frame alone, it's how he uses his body to create and finish at the rim, get his shot off even when challenged in the air. He's effective at drawing fouls as well, as he's drawn 2.7 shooting fouls per game, the most among freshmen this season. And even when the ball is not in his hands, he can play off the ball and be in the right position to make a play. Another major strength of Harper's is his ability to thrive in pick-and-roll situations. Dylan maintains composure and doesn't get rushed under pressure, playing with a good tempo and allowing the play to develop to make the right read off the pick and roll. He reads the floor well and reacts quickly, either by attacking right away or finding open teammates for an easy basket. His passing vision is also sharp, highlighted by high IQ passes and strong distribution in the half court. He consistently keeps turnovers low despite a high usage rate, averaging 4.4 assists to 2.1 turnovers per game this season. Another major strength of Harper's is his efficiency in scoring, especially around the rim. He has a very reliable soft touch and solid mechanics, including effective use off the glass when needed. He's averaged 20.1 points on 50.6% shooting so far this year. He's also a solid rebounder for his position, averaging 5.6 rebounds per game, reflecting his physicality and tenacity. I think one overlooked aspect of his game that's very important for high-level guards in the NBA is his ability to play with controlled aggression. You often see a lot of high-level NBA guards execute with a lot of patience when running an offense. I'll compare Harper to one of those exact point guards later on in this video. While Dylan has had an exceptional college season so far, there are still parts of his game that he could work on. One weakness is that he lacks elite explosiveness and quickness, which limits his ability to finish above the rim and may pose challenges when defending quicker guards on the perimeter. He doesn't have that Ja Morant or Anthony Edwards freak athletic ability. His three-point shooting has improved, but remains inconsistent. He shot about 35% from deep on 4.7 attempts per game this season. He also tends to rely heavily on his left hand even when driving to the right, which can make him predictable at times. And while he possesses a high floor due to his well-rounded skill set, he lacks some of the ceiling and raw upside seen in other top-tier prospects. But of course, with NBA development, that can change. That player that we mentioned before, the comparison to Harper, any guesses about who that could be? How about Knicks all-star point guard Jalen Brunson? Like Brunson, Harper excels at scoring inside despite not being an elite athlete or an explosive leaper. They both use their strength, body control, and a variety of moves like spins, fakes, and clever footwork to finish effectively around the rim. Brunson's ability to absorb contact and still get quality shots mirrors the way that Harper handles defenders in traffic. Both players also thrive by controlling the pace of the game. They don't get sped up by defenders, consistently playing with poise and making sound decisions whether scoring or facilitating. Harper's ability to calmly navigate pick-and-roll situations and read defenses is reminiscent of Brunson's leadership as a floor general. Brunson has shown the ability to shoulder scoring responsibilities when needed while still setting up teammates. Harper also has a knack for knowing when to attack and when to distribute, striking a balance that keeps defenses guessing constantly. Another player that Harper can be compared to is James Harden. Harper shares James Harden's left-hand dominance, using it as a key part of his offensive arsenal. Like Harden, he has a strong preference for finishing with his dominant hand, even when driving to the right, and uses it effectively to finish through contact in the paint. Harper, along with James Harden, is known for his ability to draw fouls, and Harper, like we mentioned before, leads all college freshmen in shooting fouls drawn. While Harper might not have an elite bag or Harden's elite step-back three yet, he does demonstrate the same scoring versatility, combining soft touch at the rim with a developing outside shot. He also excels at maintaining balance and using the glass when appropriate. And like Harden, Harper has shown the upside to be a solid passer and facilitator for teammates, keeping turnovers low despite a high usage rate. It's clear that Harper does have traits of Jalen Brunson's craftiness, poise, and pace control, with some of those flashes of James Harden's ability to facilitate, draw fouls, and operate effectively as a left-handed scorer. While he doesn't yet possess Harden's elite shooting consistency or explosive offensive output, his blend of scoring, passing, and size gives him the tools to impact the game similarly at the next level. Overall, Dylan Harper is considered a top-tier talent, and with continued development, he has the potential to be a future star in the NBA. His well-rounded game makes him not only one of the most solid prospects in this class, but over the last few classes. He has the potential to be a franchise point guard, and he certainly has some big shoes to fill considering his father has won 5 NBA rings. But what do you think of Dylan Harper? Do you think he can actually be the number 1 pick in the 2025 NBA draft? How high is his ceiling? Let us know in the comments below. And if you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more content just like it. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.